Now, here's a big one, the Spectrum radio. This is not really a Spectrum. What they've done here, which is great, is they've brought back Tactic. Hello folks, welcome to Netcruzer RC. Alright, we're going to do one of these screen recordings. We haven't done one of these in a while because Arrma has come up with a whole bunch of new stuff today. Over the past couple of weeks, they've actually come up with quite a few new things. Now, all of the 10th scale 4x4 vehicles have been refreshed. This just came out today, July 30th, 2020. So I'm going to click on a few of these and just show you some of the new things. Big Rock Crew Crab got a new V3. The Typhon 4x4 3S got a new V3. The Creighton EXB is new, but new today. The Granite 4x4 in the Mega variety is also newly refreshed. And in the BLX systems and in the Mega systems, the senton's been refreshed. So they got the whole fleet of brushed and brushless 10th scale basher vehicles has been updated. So let's just jump into that. Just add a brief highlight of all the things that are new in it. So we've got a bunch of new colors, new strengthening, the Spectrum SLT3 radio, that is new and that is special. I will talk to you about that in a minute. New body designs for Granite and Senton, rubber shielded bearings throughout, strengthened chassis in multiple spots, larger power module, improved dirt sealing, redesigned steering allowing stones and debris to clear more easily, which is great because I've certainly had that happen where stones will get locked in the belt cranks on my Granite. So they've raised it so that doesn't happen as well as often. Vented tires. A huge thing for our RTR company is to finally give us vented tires so we don't have to poke holes in our own wheels, because no one ever thinks that's the thing to do, but that absolutely works, guys. That absolutely works. You should vent your tires, not the wheels. Silicone shocks in the oil and the silicone shock oil rings to stop the leaky syndrome of those plastic shocks, castellated slipper pads and sliding motor mesh, as well as the safety pinion. So here's all of the links to the new revised vehicle, some of the pictures. So that's the new body style of the Granite 4x4. I think this is one of the new brushed colors, the white on red. They also have it in the blue. They've kind of changed the grille design. The front end of that body looks a little bit different. The Typhon looks almost exactly the same, except for I think the wheels have changed. Maybe the tire tread a little bit. Same with the body style of the Senton, got a slightly revised front end. I actually like it. It's a very nicely aggressive front end, and that's great paint for an RTR. I do like the print on that, as we can get it in black and red or black and blue. And then this one's probably the brushless version. I'm not entirely sure what version the paint is, but anyway. And then the Big Rock. Now the Big Rock got what I think is the most changes, and so we're going to look at that one in detail at the Mega site. They revised more things on this one than any other. Specifically, they made it wider, so it's truly a wide track. So this one uses the long chassis. There's two chassis styles in this 10th scale variety of cars. They call it an 8 scale for the Typhon, but there's a long wheelbase and a short wheelbase. This one's on the long wheelbase chassis, so we'll take a close look at that. So it is a wider arm setup on the crew cab. I'm just going to skip over the video, but here's in general all of these things went into the new models. Tougher brushless ready transmission, so the output splines are now metal. Same gears as Arrma 4S, so I noticed that most of the 3S stuff that got updated had moved over to the 4S style gearing and slipper assembly, and the 4S stuff will get refreshed in 2021. That has been announced. The other thing is all these new things that came out. The brushed 550 Mega vehicles will be coming out in August, and the brushless ones will be coming out in September. You can pre-order today. Sealed wheels stop the dirt from getting in, and they vented the tires. So that's what I was mentioning, that all the wheels now have no breather holes in them, and they've vented the tire. That's great. That's what everyone that should be doing anyway, is venting their tires. That way that when things get in, it allows them to fling out. It's wonderful to see that a company is doing that out of the box now. There's the shock O-rings to stop these plastic shocks from leaking. That's really all they needed to do to fix that problem of all the oil leaking out, was just a quick little O-ring fix. The wheelie bar looks new on the Big Rock. The bumper has been revised on the Big Rock. It's now a wider stance, an inch in width. Here's the strengthened chassis system. So they've beefened up where the diff cases sit in, as well as the hinge pin plates are now retained by screws, which is very nice to see because on my Granite, these pop off with ease. So it's good to see those are. The power module, where if you're familiar with these cars, they have a pull tab here, which allows you to undo a screw on the bottom and then pull the whole power module out, which is your motor and your slipper and your gear assembly. The problem with that is that it was very difficult to get out. It was hard to pull up on that tab, as well as it would be, little dirt would get down in the grooves on the bottom, so it would be very difficult to slide out. So they've changed the mold a bit so that it's easier to pull up on and easier to slide out. And when you do slide it out, here's the power module itself. Now, I'm surprised at this change. They went to a sliding motor mesh. I'm happy with that. I am surprised to see it though, because it makes it on the customer to set the proper gear mesh if you ever make a change. So it's great for adjustability, but you do run the risk of chewing up spurs if you get it wrong. I prefer this for a new person. Having the fixed motor positions is easier for them, but this is a skill that is good to learn how to do, which is how to set your mesh. Also, they have captured over some of the designs that they were started doing on the 8th scale and the 5th scale cars, which is the safety pinion, which is a grooved spline on your motor, as well as an E-clip that clips onto the pinion so that it can't fly off. Also, the slipper assembly has been upgraded. I believe this is the 4S slipper system, but they're using a composite gear. On the 4S vehicles, you get a metal spur, but on this one, it's plastic. All the bearings have been upgraded to have rubber shielding. The revised steering bell crank, which I believe they've just raised it up, as mentioned, so that when dirt and stuff flies in there, it doesn't get pinched and caught and lock up your steering. The ESC is the same, but the motor has been slightly revised to a Spectrum unit. Now, here's a big one, the Spectrum radio. This is not really a Spectrum. What they've done here, which is great, is they've brought back Tactic, but they aren't using the Tactic brand name anymore. But if you notice here, it says SLT. SLT is the radio protocol that Tactic used to use. So what they've done here is they've made it compatible with Tactic receivers and Tactic radios. That's wonderful. Finally, the STX is gone, because STX2 was really laggy, really bad. STX3, they tried to revise some of the complaints people had with the design of the radio, but it still kept that laggy FHSS protocol in place that didn't have an upgrade path. Now this one, you actually have a quick, nice radio protocol that has been very well proven in the marketplace. Everyone seemed to like it, and it was one of the things that got lost when the Hobbico went away. Now obviously Spectrum owns the rights now to Tactic and their technology, so they were able to re-release it. So now this is a Spectrum branded radio, the SLT3. It's a 3-channel radio, but it's using the Tactic SLT protocol system. Love that. Very happy to see this, as well as the higher end Arrma units that have mostly gone to DSMR. So it looks like 2020, they've finally fixed all of the radio complaints that we had. The low end systems are now going to Tactic SLT, and the higher end Arrmas are going to the DX3 with the Spectrum DSMR protocol. So that is great. Metal Gear Servo, I'm not entirely sure if that's been replaced, but it's now a Spectrum branded servo. And we're back to the gears again. New versus old. Okay. Oh, there's the width difference. Interesting. Now, I've never owned a Big Rock, but that was the difference in the new one to the old one. So that should be extremely beneficial for handling, to have that wider track. 4 easy screw to get the diffs out. Heavy duty drivetrain. So they've now used the axles in the drivetrain that was on the 4S systems, has trickled down to the 3S systems. Internal metal gears in the diff housings now that was used on 4S. So most of the things that were in the 4S cars are now coming to the 3S, and then whatever happens next year on the 4S will be improved even more. I do want to quickly look at one of the Mega vehicles too, just to see what's changed with those. Let me just jump over to a Mega car, if I can find one. Granite Mega. Okay, let's take a look at the Granite 4x4 Mega. So this one will be a short wheelbase, brushed setup. Okay, so the blue and the white is in the brushed version, and my Granite 4x4 that I have right now started its life with this power system, the Mega 550. and then I upgraded it to brushless. And there was a couple things you had to do. You would snap your input drive gear and a couple of other weak points, but you upgrade those, you upgrade the slipper assembly, and then it'll hold the power. It will work. Obviously, it's better to just buy the 3S version if you think you're going to go brushless anyway, but if you're on a tight budget, these are not bad. It has most of the components in it that you would want, or that can hold up to additional power if you want to swap out this power system later on. There are a couple of things you don't get, like adjustable turnbuckle links you don't get. Usually the gearing is a little bit weaker. I'm curious to see if they change that. Previously the Mega systems were on 48 pitch and the brushless was on 32 pitch, so we're just going to see here if that's changed. Scroll through. Heavy duty drivetrain, so it's getting the same 4S power system. That's fantastic. So they've upgraded it as well. Let's see, also the internal metal gears there. So the spur system is still 48 pitch. That's okay. That's not really a weak point. I never did strip that out. It was all the stuff related to the diffs and the input gear. So all that has been strengthened up. So that's fantastic. It's going to get the shock upgrades. Really, that's all I wanted to see. It's going to get revised heavy-duty front and rear bumpers. In the version 1s, this hinge system used to crack all the time. Then they fixed it in V2. In V3, now it's even stronger. That's the Arrma motto, is they really listen and watch what happens in the field, and then they take the little issues that we have and they fix them. No other RC company does that as well and consistent as Arrma does, so I'm very happy with that. Composite length links, yeah, I really have no complaint with the links being composite either. For a new gut person, it just means that they're always at the proper geometry. You never have to worry about getting your setup messed up or bending a link because they're plastic. Heavy duty C-hubs and steering blocks, this is extremely strong. Out of all of the bashing I've done on my granite, I've never broken an arm, a C-hub, an axle, and nothing. Nothing is broken axle-wise on it. It was all related to the diffs and the input shafts. Okay, so even the brushed system gets the Tactic style frequency response, so that's excellent. Okay, we're going to take a quick look at some pricing here. The Granite V3 brushed is $229, and so that means that the brushless is probably $329. Let's 3S is $319. Okay, so they got slightly up in money. They went up 20 bucks. They went up 20, 30 bucks over last year. That's not really a problem. You know, everything costs more. They put more money and materials into it. I think I'm okay with that price bump. What happened to the Big Rock? The Big Rock crew cab. Oh, that's last year's. Big Rock, the new one, V3, same price. Same price as the other brushless systems. Okay guys, so that's the new Arrmas. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you're new around here, subscribe. If you want to talk to me, leave a comment down below. And as always, thanks for watching.